31, you can just come right to the field. And if you're match 32, you can hang out at the Q table. If we get both teams back before 12:45, then we'll just start early. Skills are back. And we're already on match number 62 here on elementary field 2, so we're up and running elementary.
Them all figured out now. Today. 5 points. And Alright, somehow for our afternoon it got linked with an old live. We should be getting that figured out soon enough. But currently we're on 64, which is actually 2060H fat stacks and 6316 5S. Error 404 not found. And they do have a tri-colored stack, which is 3 colors, so 3 points for each block. and they get a 15 extra point bonus. So it's worth 18 points for that stack. And then looking back at qualification round 63, we got 72 points. And looking into the future, qualification round 65, our teams are going to be 2060K off-brand French fries and 8856A Robo Bananas. All right, and looking back at qualification round 64, they scored 35 points. And looking back into the future, qualification round 66, our teams are going to be 2060E, Vexy Besties, and 2060B at Robo Reapers. Alrighty, looking back at qualification round 65, they ended up getting 46 points. For our next qualification round, which is starting currently, our teams are going to be 61 187C AR Radioactive Shrimp and 4931C Motor Rogues. And looking back at qualification around 66, they got 44 points. All right, looking back at qualification around 67, they ended up getting 60 points. And for qualification 69, our teams are going to be 11-54 1K, Robo Trojans, and 61-18 7B AR, the Banana Splits. And I'm just going to set up this middle school afternoon qualification live, and then I will be back to commentating for our elementary people. All right, and for qualification 68, they ended up getting 25 points. And looking forward to qualification around 70, our teams are going to be 61-18 7A AR Pikmin and 88-00D I Don't Know. Alrighty, and in the first 15 seconds, we already got a bicolor stack, 2 bicolor stacks by both teams, which, back to just bringing up our point system, the bicolor stack, you get 5 bonus points and 1 point per pin, so they got 2 points plus the 5, so 7 points. And if we look at that bottom pin, it is yellow and it is on the yellow platform, so they do get 10 extra bonus points for that, so 17 points just right there in that corner. Well, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was watching them too intently because the bicolor of that red with the bottom, they actually could put it in that red corner in this near side and actually get points from that. But looking back at qualification around 69, they got 29 points. And the teams playing now for qualification round 71 are going to be 63-16 5N, Smart Quantum Bots, and 8856B, Nuclear Nanobots. All right, they got 4 of bicolor stacks, 2 of them on that yellow platform. But it seems to be that one team is going to go for the beam usage on their, hopefully on their 2 bicolor that are already stacked, but they do have only 2 seconds left, and I don't think they're going to make it, unfortunately, but usually it is super helpful. It's just they needed a few more seconds at the end of that match. But looking back at qualification round 70, we got 26 points. And looking into the future for round 72, our teams are going to be 2060A, Brain Rotted Bot Builders, and 6316 5F, VEX Invaders. Looking back at qualification round 71, they got 48 points. And looking at our current round, qualification round 73, our teams are going to be 6316 5B, the Mint Choco Bots, and 26C Overthinkers. And already they have knocked over one of their starting pins and got a bicolor stack. It seems to be that they are getting a bicolor stack on that high beam, which high risk, high reward. The robots ended up running into each other at the end. And looking back at qualification round 72, they got 26 points. Looking into the future, our round is going to start in just a second for qualification round 74. Our teams are going to be 26A Bots of Steel and 49 to 45D Eaglebots Pin Blasters. Which, to find out what your guys' family, friends, teams rank, you can look at that little white box next to their team number. So 206A is going to be our 33 ranked, and 4945D is going to be our 15 ranked. And Pin Blasters is a personal favorite. I've seen them play many, many times, and I absolutely love the setup of their robot because they have it built so they can easily get into their beams, which is basically a wild card because it's gray. They can get it in there just so easily, like they just have to drop it in there, easy breezy. They have it so it's the exact size, so the beam is held stiffly, and especially if they're doing the backwards flip to get it more stable, they can quickly just flip it around, which fortunately they slid out enough fast enough that they got those beam points. But looking back at qualification round 73, they got 74 points. Looking into the future, qualification round 75, our teams are going to be 25B Calculated Chaos and 4931B Robo Dragons. which already both teams seem to be going for a bi-colored stack, which high risk, high reward, going for that high pin, with that bottom block being yellow, so they did in fact get their points. So 20 bonus points for being on that high pin, plus their 7 points of their bi-colored stack that involves 2 pins, while their other teammate seems to have built 2 of their bi-colored stacks for them. And it seems to be that our robot on the left-hand side is going to go for that corner, which they have enough time. They just have to lift it exactly high enough and drop it precisely so it doesn't knock over. And beautifully done by them with 5 seconds remaining. And we do have a bi-color stack with 3 points, so that's actually going to be worth 8 points because it is 2 colors but consists 3 pins. Looking back at qualification round 74, they got 75 points. And looking into the future of qualification 76, our teams are going to be 63 16 5D Cyber Sigmas and 88 50 6D Bot to the Future. All right, and that round just wrapped up. Looking back at qualification round 75, they got 88 points. Good job. And the round just starting now. Our teams are going to be 2060N, hashtag still brainstorming, and 4945E, Eaglebots Pinchers of Pickles. With just 10 seconds in, we already have 2 bi-colored stacks, so that is 14 points just right there. Which honestly, from our elementary kids, I haven't really seen that much of getting their starting pins off, which is actually pretty easy points if you do ask me. All you gotta do is you gotta adjust yourself just behind it and flick it off, which is easier said than done, and I do recognize that. But I wish I did see some more teams who were struggling, especially when they have broken parts, do that. But looking back at qualification 76, got 52 points. And looking into the future, our teams for qualification 78 are going to be 17, 15, 1P, the random 4th graders, and the 2060M nuclear sprinkles, which we are just finalizing our score and having a coach discussion, and should be starting in just a second. a common theme is getting a bunch of bicolored stacks because you can efficiently get those points. It doesn't take long, but I would truly like to see more of those tricolor stacks, which, as I said earlier, high risk, high reward. I've only seen a tricolored stack on top of that high pin just a handful of times, honestly. But looking back at qualification 77, they got 58 points. And our team that just started are going to be 22A Electric Pickles and 21A Robotic Pups. Alrighty, looking back at 78, they got 50 points. And looking in the future of qualification round 80, our teams are going to be 61, 18, 7 CAR, Radioactive Shrimp, and 61, 18, 7 DAR, the Robo Hunters. I lied, it's actually the Bot Hunters. And in the first 15 seconds, we already have a bicolor stack on that high pin, which is honestly a really good strategy. You're locking in those points early, and you don't have to worry about your partner actually knocking them over or crashing into them because they are high. Which we already have 3 other bicolored stacks on that ground. Which a common mechanism I actually have seen this whole year is these claws to easily grip these pegs, which is honestly very smart, very effective because they can get around those pins and not have to worry about it, but when they do break, it does affect your whole round. Qualification 79, our score was 36, and looking to what is starting right now, our teams are going to be 4931C, Motor Rogues, and 4945C, Eaglebots, Gorilla Gears. This claw mechanism I've only seen on a few robots this year, which can be an advantage, but also a disadvantage just because it can get loose and swing, which may be effective. But that score quickly flashed on the screen, but qualification round 80, they ended up getting 92 points. But the round that is currently just starting is going to be 82, and our teams are going to be 1154 1K, Robo Trojans, and 2060G, the Bingo Boys. As you guys are probably sick of me just talking about the point system, and I just want to give a moment to shout out our sponsors, Westwood AI and Bradford White. Thank you so much for giving all of our teams this opportunity from all these different schools. I know some Caledonia people who are absolutely amazed with the facility that we have been given to use, and we are just very appreciative of both of them. But also, I want to give a quick shout out to everyone who does watch us, because I have received so many compliments, which truly warms my heart to hear. Truly, thank you all for just such the kind words and being patient with our craziness since me and the other people have been learning. But qualification round 81, they ended up getting 45 points, and our teams that are going to play currently for qualification round 83, their teams are going to be 2060K Off-Brand French Fries and 1156 1R Gilkey Stacker Bots. And for qualification round 82, they ended up getting 25 points. And our next qualification round, our teams are going to be 8856A, Robo Bananas, and 2060H Fat Stacks. Alrighty, and for qualification around 83, we got 54 points, and currently playing, once the screen switches, we got 26D Moose and 4945A Eaglebots D's Axolotl 6-7. Alrighty, and for qualification round 84, we ended up getting 57 points. And for qualification round 86, our teams are going to be 63-16 5F VEX Invaders and 88-00B Control Alt Defeat. I think one of our robots is about to attempt a tricolor stack, which I always love to see. Which tricolor stack is 15 bonus points on top of their 3 pins. So it is worth 18 points right there. And that is not including their bicolor stacks that they already have built and are building. Alrighty, and for qualification round 85, they got 54 points. And this round that is just starting, our teams are going to be 2060C, 5th Gear, and 8856B, Nuclear Nanobots. And already just a few seconds in, we are getting some attempts of getting bicolor stacks. Which one of their blocks unfortunately got tilted, so they have to readjust before building their second one. Which I do think they have one of those dual sides that they can pick up two at the same time. And just as a reminder, as this is only a 1-minute round per match, they also do have to switch drivers in the middle of their round. They have 10 seconds to do so. So another tricolor stack. Which, just as a reminder, 15 bonus points. All right, and then that just flashed on the screen at qualification round 86. They got 54 points. And currently playing is going to be 4931B at Robo Dragons and 6316-5B, the Mint Choco Bots. Alrighty, and for qualification round 87, they got 56 points. And for 89, our teams are going to be 6316 5S, Error 404, Name Not Found, and 2060D, Big Stack Attack. All right. And we already have 2 bicolor stacks with 30 seconds remaining. Maybe a third one being built currently. And I think our other team is either going to go to knock off those starting pins or, oh, they're getting another bicolor stack, which seems to be a common theme this year, which it is efficient. They do get their points, but everyone's kind of got the same copy-paste system. All right, and for qualification 88, we got 29 points. And for qualification round 90, our teams are going to be 49-31D, Robo Gummy Bears, and 61-18 7A, AR Pikmin.
Highest score in one match wins it all.
Alrighty, and looking back at qualification round 89, we got 91 points, and actually talking about 91, our qualification round 91 teams are going to be 26C Overthinkers and 17-15 1P, the random 4th graders. All right, and qualification round 90, their score was 24 points. And currently is going to be qualification round 92, which is 2060N, hashtag still brainstorming, and 2060A, Batso Steel. And if this is your first time tuning in, if you ever do see the camera shake, just know that people are just walking up the stairs. I swear we aren't having an earthquake. But qualification round 91, we got 14 points. And looking into the future of 93, where teams are going to be 2060J, Hybrid Pickle Snakes, and 4945D EagleBots Pin Blasters. Which I was fixing camera and I heard the whole crowd gasp, and I don't know what I missed, unfortunately. But looking back at qualification 92, they scored 56 points, and looking into the future of 94, our teams are going to be 8800D, I don't know, and 26B, the Godzilla Gorillas. In qualification around 93, they scored 15 points. Which our graphic is stuck on, but currently happening is they have a bicolor stack of yellow and blue on the higher pin and a yellow and red on that lower yellow section. All of their starting pins are still up, and they seem to be attempting to get another bicolor stack, which they did. So there is 2 bicolor stacks in the bottom section and 1 on the higher pin. And they have a 3rd bicolor set, but it's not in that yellow ground level. All right, if you can see, I hope I explained it well enough for it to make sense, but that is what I was seeing. All right, and currently is going to be 25B Calculated Chaos and 6316 5G Blue Bots. And looking back at qualification around 64, they scored 68 points. And looking to the future, 205A, Mr. Bananas, and 6118-7B are the Bananas. We had to find them, so we're just going to let them set up for a second before our round starts. All right, and our teams currently are going to be 2060B Robo Reapers and 63165N Smart Quantum Bots, and our results for qualification round 96 was 44 points. And again, for qualification at 96, they scored 44 points. And our teams currently playing are going to be 4931E Cyber Knights and 9199 8G The Glitch. We have a tricolor stack, which is always amazing to see. We have just 15 seconds left. We might have a second tricolor stack. I think we do. So 2 tricolor stacks, which 15 bonus points each, plus the 18 points per stack, and that is not including the placemat and everything else. Oh wow, maybe 3 tricolor stacks. Anyways, looking back at 67, 97, oh my. We got 63 points. But this is going to be qualification 99. And we have teams 8800C, Backstreet Boys, and 8856D, Bot to the Future. Looking back at qualification 98, we got 82 points. And looking at qualification around 100, and I think we have 156 for all of today. Yes, 156 just for qualification rounds. Our teams are going to be 4945B Eaglebots B-Bots and 4945F Eaglebots Coding Capybaras. And looking at this lower left corner, my only criticism is that they placed the red one and then they're gonna grab their yellow. At least that's what I saw, which it's more time efficient to just grab both of their stack and move it over. Which, yeah, they ended up having their block stuck, so that ruined some of their plan. But they seem to be going for their starting point and or getting some criticism from their head ref. Looking back at qualification around 99, they got 28 points. And looking at the feature of 101, we got 4945E Eaglebots Pinchers of Pickles and 2060M Nuclear Sprinkles. Alright, and looking back to qualification round 100, they got 57 points. And looking to qualification round 102, our teams are going to be 2060E Vexy Besties and 2060F Can Calculator Conductors. Beautiful tricolor stack and a higher bicolor stack, which I don't think at all today in the 102 qualification rounds we've gotten a tricolor stack on the high center peg because, again, higher risk, higher reward. And if you missed that, that was for qualification 101. They got 53 points, and currently playing is going to be 61-18-7E AR VEX Builders and 2060X the Go to Griffins. Already, and for 102, they got 59 points. And quickly moving into the next qualification round, which is going to be 104. Our teams are going to be 2068 Brain Rotted Bot Builders and 6316 5D Cyber Sigmas. which I do see one of the beams being used, which is always amazing to see. And I think it's by our third-ranked team, which they have just over 20 seconds left, and they put it on another bicolor stack. That stack alone is worth so many points. I wish I knew the math in my head, but I do not know the math in my head, unfortunately. But amazing stack. Hopefully we don't knock it over in our last 10 seconds. Looking back at 103, we got 45 points. And for qualification 105, our teams are going to be 21A Robotic Pups and 6118 7A AR Pikmin. Which we got that higher bicolored stack and that lower bicolored stack. With just a little bit of lag happening. But there is super exciting score that I can't wait to pop up on the screen of 101 points from 104. They did an absolute amazing job. For 106 for the qualification round, our teams are going to be 1156 1R, Gilkey Stacker Bots, and 4931D Robo Gummy Bears. Alrighty, just give me a second to get our other camera back up and running. But for qualification 105, they scored 75 points. And for 107, our teams are going to be 2060D Big Stack Attack and 4945 Eaglebots Pin Blasters. But I guess this is a great example of what is actually happening when we were waiting in between rounds, which we will be back to this camera in just a moment, fun fact. But qualification 106, they scored 18 points. And 108, that's about to happen. Our teams are going to be 2060C, 5th gear, and 2060N, hashtag still brainstorming. Sorry about the lack of camera. I'm currently getting the other one fixed. for 109, they ended up getting a score of 62, and looking forward to 111, our teams are going to be 1154 1K Robo Trojans and 6118 7C AR Radioactive Shrimp. All right, the cameras just seem to be a little delayed right now, but currently it's qualification 112, and our teams are 8856D Bot to the Future and 61187D AR the Bot Hunter. All right, and for 111, they got 42 points. And looking to the future of qualification at 113, our teams are going to be 4931C Motor Rogues and 2060K Off-Brand French Fries. All right, and for qualification 112, they ended up getting 74 points. And looking to the future of 114, our teams are going to be 8800B Control Alt Defeat and 2060B Robo Reapers. Alrighty, looking back to 113, they got a score of 49. Our next qualification round, our teams are going to be 2060F, Can Calculator Conductors, and 6316-5B, the Mint Choco Bots. Looking back at 114, they got a score of 16, and our next qualification round is going to be 116, and their teams, I'm sorry, are going to be 6316-5F, VEX Invaders, and 8856A Robo Bananas. For qualification at 115, they got a score of 54 points. And looking into the future of qualification at 117, our teams are going to be 2060A, Brain Rotted Bot Builders, and 2060G, the Bingo Boys. All right, I got the cameras figured out again. Qualification at 117. They got 23 points, and currently happening is qualification round 119. And our teams are going to be 1715 1P, the random fourth graders, and 2060E, the Vexy Besties. I am going to fix that camera quick for you. For qualification 118, they got a score of 81. And our next qualification round is going to be 2060X that go to Griffins and 2060J Hyper Hybrid Pickle Snakes. Again, just having a little bit more of difficulties with our one camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, a couple announcements here as we get toward the afternoon. We're, of course, moving through the middle school tournament rapidly. We are playing today through match 70, 7-0. As we announced this morning, when the original schedule was run with 9 runs per team, which is a lot more than we can actually have done in a day. So we have reset that at the lunch hour. The middle school is going to play through match 70. That gives all the teams 7 qualification matches. One more than you normally get. We get 7 matches. We're playing middle school through match 70. After match 70, we will select and we'll play our playoff and give awards. Entry side, we're rapidly catching up to the schedule right now, and we're going to finish that up and do awards later in the afternoon also. Okay, so the computer will select your alliances as I'm reminded.
All right, looking back at qualification 120, they scored 34 points. And our next qualification round of 122, our teams are going to be 206D Demoose and 9199 8G The Glitch.
So that is 43 more minutes to be able to get your skills runs in. Queue lines are not very long right now, so if you have a few minutes between matches, might be a good time to come run them.
All right, still trying to figure out some of our technical difficulties, but For qualification at 121, they ended up getting 29 points. And our teams currently playing are going to be 4945C Eaglebots Gorilla Gears and 2060M Nuclear Sprinkles. Just some more technical difficulties we have to figure out before we move on, but qualification 123, we got 45 points. All right, we got that figured out. We should be starting in just a second. But as a reminder, our teams for this round are going to be 6316 5N, Smart Quantum Bots, and 8800C Backstreet Boys. All right, and currently playing is going to be 2060H Fat Stacks and 25A Mr. Bananas. Alrighty, and for 124, we got a score of 23. Currently playing is going to be 6316 5D Cyber Sigmas and 6118 7E AR VEX Builders. And beautiful use of the beam right in that lower corner. Very impressive to see. But looking back at 125, we ended up getting a score of 71 points. And 127 that is about to start is going to be 26B, the Godzilla Gorillas, and 4931B Robo Dragons. And for qualification 126, they ended up getting 75 points. And looking to the future of 128 for the qualification round, our teams are going to be 4945B Eaglebots B-Bots and 4931E Cyber Knights. And as I mentioned earlier, they knocked off those starting pins with absolute ease. It is quite funny, though, to see their robot just swing side to side to knock it over, though. And looking back to 127, they ended up getting a score of 77. And currently playing is going to be 4945F Eaglebots Coding Capybaras and 8856B Nuclear Nanobots. Looking back to qualification 128, they ended up getting a score of 46. And our next qualification round is going to be qualification round 130, and their teams are going to be 6316-5S and error 404 name not found, and 206A Botso Steel. Looking back at qualification round of 129, they ended up getting 55 points. And our teams that are just going to start for qualification 131 are going to be 2060B Robo Reapers and 2060N hashtag still brainstorming. Looking back at qualification round 131, they ended up getting a score of 36. And looking into the future of qualification 133, our teams are going to be 63-16 5F, VEX Invaders, and 2060X, the Goated Griffins. Alrighty, looking back at 133, they got a score of 35. And currently playing is 2060 J Hyper Hybrid Pickle Snakes and 4945E Eaglebots Pinchers of Pickles. Looking back at qualification 134, they ended up getting a score of 60. For 136, our teams are going to be 8800D, I don't know, and 21A Robotic Pugs. Looking back at qualification 135, our score was of 22. And our current team's playing is going to be 61, 18, 7B, and 1156, 1R. And the team names are going to be AR, the Banana Splits, and Gilkey Stacker Bots. For some unknown reason, my cameras are having difficulty switching, but hopefully that'll figure it out itself out soon. And again, thank you for just being so patient with our technical difficulties of today, as it has definitely not been super nice to us today, but we've gotten it hopefully under control soon. But thank you again for being so patient.
We still have someone's iPhone here at the sound booth. If you are missing your iPhone, come to the sound booth and describe it to us and show us you can unlock it and you can have it back.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Currently happening is there are 2 bicolor stacks on that yellow bottom platform, and they are getting their fixed points. The ones that are worth 2 points, they're getting them hopefully knocked off. They're just struggling getting that perfect angle to knock it over. And there is a 3rd tricolor stack, and they're trying to push it onto the platform with their last few seconds left, but I do not know if they have it fully on there. The results for 137 are 62 points, and our teams currently playing for qualification 139 are going to be 49, 45D, Eaglebots Pin Blasters, and 2068 Brain Rotted Bot Builders. For qualification 138, they ended up getting 37 points. And for qualification 140, our teams are going to be 8856A Robo Bananas and 2060C Fifth Gear. Alrighty, and looking back at 139, they got a score of 105. And for qualification 141, our teams are going to be 206B, the Godzilla Gorillas, and 2060F, Can Calculator Conductors. And looking back at qualification 140, they ended up getting a score of 44. And for 142, our teams are going to be 8856B, Nuclear Nanobots, and 61187C, AR, Radioactive Shrimp. And the result for qualification round 141, they got a score of 37. And for qualification 143, our teams are going to be 61187A, AR Pikmin, and 4931E, Cyber Knights. This current round, our teams are going to be 206C Overthinkers and 2060E Vexy Besties. And our results for a 142 were 73 points.
So if my math is correct, we have 7 more middle school qualification matches. 7 more matches. We are closing skills at 2:45. The top 16 teams in middle school will play in the finals.
I've got 2 fours.
Once we close our skills, we will allow for practicing on skills builds.
One stand up.
Please make sure you're taking turns, and remember they are set up for skills, so you'll need to do your own setup to change it back.
And for the results of 143, we had a score of 29, and on-field for qualification 145 was going to be 63-16 5N, Smart Quantum Bots, and 17-15 1P, the random 4th graders.
Okay, let's reset the wheel, guys. Roll what's left and reset. You guys get that up? Thank you.
Go back with your team. Good job, guys.
Ready, ready. When are you ready? Do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
For qualification 146, our teams are going to be 63-16 5B, the Mint Choco Bots, and 2060M Nuclear Sprinkles. And our results for 145, that will hopefully pop up in a second after this round, was going to be 45 points.
I have 3 connected pins in a 3 stack that gets a dollar bonus and is on the stand-up. I have 1 robot. I've got 1 pin robot. I've got robot. Option. I have to buy 1. And then buy 2.
For 147, our teams are going to be 91-99, 8G, the Glitch, and 49-45F, Eaglebots, Coding Capper Bars. For qualification 147, our teams were, I lied. For qualification 148, our teams are going to be 49, 45A Eaglebots D's Axolotl 6-7, and 4931D Robo Gummy Bears.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up the event, we're headed towards the playoffs. I want to call your attention to an opportunity for your school. People often ask us, how can we do in our school what you do in your school? Our middle school VEX teams that are here today. Middle school teams in Grandville compete in VEX robotics, but they also race drones with multi-GP. They build underwater rovers with mate. They compete in RoboFest. They do a range of things.
The results for 147 was 98 points, and our next qualification round 149, our teams are going to be 61, 18, 70 AR the Bot Hunters, and 2060D Big Stack Attack.
6 years ago said we need a robotics team in Grandville, and it's turned into what's here in Grandville. If you want to do something different in your school, I have an opportunity for you today. If you come down here to the scoring table, Mr. Blaine right here, the green shirt's going to wave at you. Hi, Blaine. Wait, Blaine. That's Blaine. He's got a pad of paper. Come write your name, your email, the school you want, and tell us what you'd like to see in your school, and we'll send you home with a copy of our book today, absolutely free. And then we'll reach out to your superintendent and say, hey, we should talk about getting another robotics program started in X school. We're trying to generate 40 new schools in robotics in Michigan next year. We've got several already. Ionia Public Schools is joining VEX, as is Tewajack Public Schools. But if you're interested in doing more with your school or seeing your school do more, come down here to the scoring people at Blaine's on. Know who you are, what school we are. I'm going to tell your superintendent who gave us his name. I can find your superintendent. I want to know those people in the school that want to see a different type of program or a broader program or more resources for the program. Some people come here and say, we want to build a facility like this. If you want to do something different in your school district, come on down here. This is Blaine right here. Give us some information so we can contact your school.
For qualification round 148, we got a score of 25, and for 150, our teams are going to be 8856D Bot to the Future and 8800B Control Alt Defeat. Alrighty, and for qualification round 151, our teams are going to be 205A, Mr. Bananas, and 206A, Botso Steel. And the results for 150, their points were 47. Our results for 150 were 47 points, as I said earlier. And on our field that is about to start, our teams are going to be 2060G, the Bingo Boys, and 63-16-5J Blue Bots. All right, and the result for 151 qualification round was 66 points, and our round that is just starting is going to be 26D the Moose and 63-16 5S error 404 name not found. All right, and for qualification round 154, our teams are going to be 4931B Robo Dragons and 4945B Eaglebots B-Bots. And just letting you know, we only do have 156 qualification rounds. So afterwards, I will be ending this live and starting a new one for our playoffs and championships, which includes awards as well. And looking back at qualification round 153, they got a score of 38 points. All right, and for qualification round 155, our team's going to be 2060H Fat Stacks and 6316 5D Cyber Sigmas. For our last qualification round, our teams are going to be 4945 C Eaglebots Gorilla Gears and 6118 7E AR VEX Builders. And looking back at qualification 154, they got a score of 61. And looking back at qualification 155, we got a score of 19. And I will tell you the final score for 156, and then we'll end this live, have a driver's meeting, print out the schedules, and then I'll start the next live right afterwards. And their final score was 57 points. So now I'm going to end this live. We're going to get ourselves ready for our playoffs and our championships, and then I'll start the next live when we are set for that.